just seems right that David and Christine are getting married. I don't know, this just feels right.
Yes, oh my gosh.
I think going forward, I just see Christine and David having very, very many happy years. When Christine first met David, she basically said, well, I have a sister wife and she's going to come with me everywhere. And the kids are all my kids. And he's like, okay, cool. It just feels good. It feels like we're whole. Like it feels like the family still has an identity.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. We had the opportunity to watch Christine Brown get married on Sister Wives. Christine and David get married, their wedding special. And at the wedding, it was filled with so much love, so much happiness. Family was in attendance and friends to celebrate the new nuptials of Christine and David. Now, in this episode, only one of the sister wives was actually invited, and that was Janelle. And Janelle's involvement in the wedding was, you know, Christine has a really, really, really big family. And so Janelle was 100% there. All of her kids were 100% there. But it was really a combination of Christine's extended family, Christine's immediate family with her siblings, her immediate family with her kids, David's family. It's a huge bunch. And in the middle of that is Janelle, and Janelle is extremely happy for Christine and her newfound marriage, but also in many ways trying to adjust to this new idea of Christine being married. And over and over and over, she talks about how Christine made the comment to David very early on that Janelle was her sister wives, her and her kids come with her wherever she goes, and that's just how it is. And Janelle was saying that this helped her form the identity of the family. Now, in truth, yes, it is the identity of their family, but now Christine is creating a new family with David. So in many ways, yes, Janelle is still a part of Christine's bubble, but her immediate family, Christine's, is with David, her kids, and his kids. And it's an interesting dynamic, I'm sure, for all of them to try to figure this out over the holidays. For their first holiday for Christmas, as, you know, newlyweds, Christine hung back in Utah and spent the holidays with her daughter, Aspen and Mitch, and Truly, along with some of David's kids. And then the rest of the kids went down to North Carolina to Maddie's to spend the holidays with her, including Janelle. So they're a family, but still two families. I don't know if that makes sense. The Brown family, as we know it, really doesn't exist anymore. It's very fragmented. And I'm glad that Janelle and Christine are still going to stay connected, but I think we're just going to have to see how this all plays out. But Janelle had some very key comments throughout this episode that I think some of you will be interested in. Some of you might find funny. Some of you might be like, that's so not Janelle. And others of you might just be like, oh, zing. So let's dive into today's topic. Before we do, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click on the bell so you never miss a video.
We'd be so open to having any of the other children join us, like, or be part of that or whatever. You know, the children who are not here currently would be so welcome still to come.
You know, it's odd that the entire wedding, nobody brings up that Gwendlyn isn't there. Gwendlyn did not attend. She took a ton of classes, several of organic chemistry. She said she was very busy and couldn't make it. And they never say that she's not there. They never bring up her name. And when they speak about the other children that aren't there, it always feels like they're talking about the kids of Robyn and Cody's. Robyn and Cody's kids wanted to be here, it would be fine. But Christine, at another point in this episode, actually says that she's so glad to have her 13 kids there. She didn't really raise or take part in raising Robyn and Cody's children and his adopted children at all. So she probably doesn't view them as her children. Christine references her 13 kids, but only 12 of them were there because Gwendlyn wasn't there. And Janelle says that all the kids are welcome. So it's just a weird, she's very much not there. She's not on camera. She didn't attend and no one mentions it. Maybe she didn't want to be mentioned. Who knows?
To me, the fact that they are obviously openly affectionate with each other is almost like the healing balm. Cody was telling her, I was never attracted to you. I thought you were always gross. I had to really work hard to be with you. And I thought, what a asshole kind of thing to say to somebody, especially someone you've been with for 30 freaking years and you have 6 children with. And David has kind of come in and fixed all of that. And she feels loved.
There are times on reality television and on shows like this that it feels as though everything is very scripted and there's a narrative that they're trying to sell. So right now it's this idea that because Cody didn't find Christine attractive, this was a huge wound for Christine, and it was. And so the picture that's being painted by this marriage is as though it is fixing all of these wrongs that Cody did. Like Christine needed a savior to fix her, to save her from these wounds. And while I think it's a sweet narrative, I feel like this narrative really cuts short the strength and courage it took for Christine to leave that situation, and her tenacity and her bravery in leaving a man that was so abusive to come out of it and still feel like she can be vulnerable enough to find love again. She had to have felt beautiful in her own skin to put herself out there. So I really don't believe that it's David that's making her feel beautiful. I wish it was as simple as a man saving you. And that's the one aspect of shows like this where it's like women need to be saved by a man. I really don't feel like anyone needs to save anyone. You have to save yourself. And I think Christine saved herself. I understand very much what Janelle's saying. I just very much disagree with the spin that the producers are trying to give this. And by no means do I believe that it's Janelle trying to spin this. I believe this is a production-led question that they're trying to feed to her to say, yes, isn't this fixing all of Christine's problems? And then she's responding to the question. They're fueling that narrative, not Janelle. I want to be clear about that. And I think it's really crappy for the production to bring this up during her wedding, because then it inserts comments like Janelle made where she says Cody was always saying that she was gross. And I don't remember him saying that ever on the show. So if he said that, did she just spill the beans, or is she just paraphrasing? He said that watching her eat nachos was gross, but I don't know that he said that repeatedly to her. But again, we're not in their houses. I have no idea. So the producers feeding this just bothers me, because it's her wedding day, and who needs to talk about what Cody thought? You know what I'm saying? Anyone else think that? I'm not mad at Janelle, by the way. I am annoyed with producers inserting that, because it's just unneeded drama. Just my opinion.
I see them sitting on the porch with their rocking chairs, watching their grandkids and kids.
I love the leg lift. It was hard to believe that she was raised so religious for so many years, because that was... I think they kind of forgot people were there.
I have to say that was a little weird for me. I'm like, this is weird. And my kids were like, that's kind of weird, Mom. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of weird, but whatever. Whatever was going on between them, it's great. It's great.
So at one point during the wedding, while they're all taking pictures, Janelle is speaking about, this marriage, this love that Christine and David share. She takes a dig at Robyn, and Robyn's, I want to sit on a porch with my sister wives, with my kids and my grandkids. And Janelle says that Christine is going to sit on a porch with David in a rocking chair, watching her kids and her grandkids, their kids and their grandkids. This old idea, this whole adage that is pushed by the AUB is that when the man dies, what will be left are the women. and those women will live together on a grandma ranch. And this was an idea that was sold by Cody to the wives because of their Wyoming ranch the Brown family owns. When his dad died, he left 3 women. He left Janelle, he left Cheryl, and he left Bobby. And a lot of people don't know that he had 3 wives because that wife is not on the show. And now Cheryl has died, but Bobby and Janelle still both live, I believe, on the ranch or near the ranch, and have stayed together. And that was a fantasy that Robyn had. And here it is with Miss Janelle saying that she thinks that this is going to be what Christine will get. So I don't know. It's just a dig. It's kind of funny, and it's just a little bit of to shove it in her face maybe, but it's also the truth. And also, Christine gave David a lap dance. Now, it's weird how this all happened because a chair was pulled out, and all of a sudden one of David's kids' friends, so a kid that grew up with David's kids, sort of showed up and like started dancing around David. It was really bizarre. And David explained that this guy he's treated like a son for years, but he's not his son. And then he motions Christine over to give a lap dance. For all intents and purposes, this lap dance was very mild. I have seen many a lap dance, and let's just say that she was very restricted by her dress and unable to maneuver as easily as she would have wanted to. She was having a hard time, getting in between his legs, and, as seductive as it wasn't, I don't think, over the top. I don't think there was anything hypersexual about it. And obviously, there hasn't been a lot of affection shown on this series because the ladies were unable to show affection because they were all jealous of one another. And so Janelle is kind of like the wet blanket and comes back and says, "Oh, this is weird." And my initial reaction was like, I don't know, I don't think it's that weird. I've seen scenarios play out like that at weddings before. I have seen much more raunchy things happen at weddings. And then I remind myself that this is Mormon fundamentalism. But then I had this really bizarre juxtaposition looking at her giving a lap dance and Janelle sharing a man for 25 years. When you live in the world of Mormon fundamentalism or even fundamentalism, everything about sex is so taboo. Everything. But after marriage, it's as though there's no rules in a lot of these cultures. And even though it's taboo, it's such an obsession of the people in the cultures. It's like when you think about the IBLP and how weird they are about their courtships, but then the men are so hypersexualized and the women can never say no to the men. On the same token, in polygamy, the women are sharing a man. And in monogamy, that is not normal. And in monogamy, you wouldn't have to think about your husband coming home having just had intercourse or any sort of intimacy with another woman. You don't have to think about if your husband doesn't cheat, if he is loyal. You don't have to think about STDs, STIs, various infections, passing around cold sores because your other partner has one and they kissed you when you had it and you came over to this wife's house and kissed her. You don't have to think about those things because you're just in a relationship with one person. But in that world, that's normal. And to me, that is abnormal. That's weird. I can't imagine living in a world where you settle for 25% time with a husband, not having your husband there all the time, your children not having a dad that's present in their lives constantly, a father that isn't helping either contribute to the family either financially or emotionally, because Cody did neither. I mean, I understand that there's people that the mom works and the dad stays home and whatever, but you're working together. But in this way, it's like the wives were not only single moms, but they had no financial support from Cody, no emotional support from Cody. They had no partner other than a guy that would show up every 4th day and just want to get laid. That to me is weird. Selling yourself short and believing that this is the righteous path to heaven And allowing a man to steamroll you and control you and harm you, and then also harm the kids, is weird. Having children that grow up in a world where they don't have enough time with their parents because there's too many kids, and they don't have adequate time with their mothers because they're spread so thin and they never see their fathers. That's sad to me. And that's what this culture does to women. It poisons them. It poisons their brain, and it makes them believe that benign moments of showing love and affection to your partner, a spur of the moment, completely benign, innocent lap dance, is weird. But all that other garbage that we just talked about isn't weird. Their minds are so warped and twisted, it just makes me feel sad. And I think what Janelle probably meant to say is that she felt uncomfortable. Maybe the kids felt uncomfortable with such an outward, like, show of emotion. But then that also makes me feel sad for them, because if you grow up with if you're with a partner and you have children and you cannot be openly affectionate with them, and you can't kiss them, and you can't show them that you love them and give them hugs and warmth, and you can't do that because of other women around that you might tip off and make jealous, and your kids don't grow up in an environment where mom and dad love each other, mom and dad are hugging or kissing, or dad and dad are hugging and kissing, mom and mom are hugging and kissing. And this isn't an indictment on single parents. I'm just talking about married people here, because I realize some kids don't grow up in a 2-parent home. But it just makes me feel sad that Janelle could have had a partner where her kids could have seen all of that, and it wouldn't have been weird. And I understand that Christine's like over the top with her affection, and very much what I saw with Christine and David's French kissing and their groping of one another, it was just so evident to me that they're like 2 teenagers in love, both that have maybe in many ways not had affection for a very long time, and they're just like soaking all of this up, and they're eating each other. You know what I mean? They're devouring one another because they're just so happy to have that. And they're so attracted to each other. Now, I don't know if this is going to be Christine's happily ever after. The world is not fairy tales, right? We're not built on fairy tales, but this could be her beautiful next chapter. And we'll just hope that after this beautiful episode that things continue to go well with her and David. And Janelle says she doesn't want to find a man, and she wants to stay single. And Mary says that she hopes to find a new relationship in the future. And I hope all of them find happiness. And season 19 will be coming. They do not announce a season 19 until like a month before it airs. If we're going to go based on last year, we should probably expect the new season to air in August. So tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye.